True items is okay. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from the friendly confines of Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. And just where is that, might you ask? Well, shit, I know you're busy. It's Christmas Eve. You've been running around. You're trying to get all this last-minute shit done. Presents bought, food baked, yourself baked, whatever you're doing. So let me give you some simple directions. We're just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. You know the one. Just stop at the corner. Ask my man Joe. He's a gentleman, he's a scholar, but most of all, he's a man of commerce. Slip him what you should, and he will point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left, and then a right. As you find yourself strolling down the street minding your own goddamn business, a cool breeze will hit you that chills you right to your skeletal core, and you will find yourself asking, was that the autumn wind? You're goddamn right. Should you venture down that deep dark alley? Well, of course you should. Because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place that we like to call Deep Behind the Enemy Line. This is Raider Reaction, and how it is every Tuesday on Raider Reaction, and even when it's Christmas Eve. It's the Raider Nation Report, a solid 60 minutes with yours truly. We have a lot to talk about. There's playoff football, possibly on the horizon. Depends on which theory you subscribe to on how things are going to shake out. You've got the Ravens looking like they could possibly set starter heavy coming into this game with not a lot to really play for. it's an interesting week 17, that is for sure. A very interesting week 17. And the fact that our name is even in the discussion, that the Raiders are even in the conversation in week 17, it's a beautiful thing. We just want one more week. We just want to extend it. Just let's pick that ticket up and walk in the door. Nobody else seems to want it. Right now, the Titans are kind of sitting there looking like they're the lead dog to grab it, but nothing says they're going to get it. They have to play the Texans, so nothing says they're going to punch their way in. It's a very interesting scenario you place yourself in with. Now you look back, and of course hindsight's 20/20, but now you look back and you're like, if you'd have just handled a little bit of business over the course of the past 4 to 5 weeks, look where you could have been. 9-7 would have damn near given you a lock into the playoffs. And look where you would have been. Look where you would have been. Now, I'd like to take you back. Take you back not so long ago. Oh, there you are. Now that I've taken you back to when we were sitting here before preseason started and I was giving you my way too damn early season predictions. And I sat here and I spun a yarn for you about how I saw the season laying out and how this was going to happen and how I saw the end of the 2019 season coming. Now, if you don't think I haven't already went back and clipped this shit, because if it comes out to fruition, I'm going to look like some sort of fucking Nostradamus. But I sat right here and said, I believe the Raiders were going to go on a short winning streak. I thought it was going to be 3 games. I thought it was going to be the Jags, Chargers, and Broncos. I thought they were going to go on a short winning streak at the end, get hot, finish the season at 9-7, grab the 6th wild card, and what did I say? What did I say? I said they were going to have to face the Kansas City Chiefs. They were going to lose to them both times during the regular season, and they were going to have to stand in Kansas City in January and beat the Chiefs at home to vanquish the demon and fucking slay the dragon that has stood in our way in the AFC West for quite some time now. So, I said it, and now you look at what is standing in front of you. If you go in at 8-8, you are the 6th seed. And right now, the way the playoffs are set up and it looks like they will align, you would take the place of the Titans, who currently would be playing the Chiefs. We would take that spot. And guess what? Exactly what I said. Minus, we finished 8-8 instead of 9-7. So I'm off a game. But everything else that I laid out in my scenario would have come to fruition. And that was my prediction before preseason. And that was just looking at the season and how it laid out. I thought it was a front-heavy season. I really thought, though, down that stretch when you had yourself looking at 6-4 and stared at 6 games left, that at that point you really had set yourself up to do something, possibly shake things up. But that you didn't hold on to that, and it is what it is. You didn't hold on to it. So, with that being said, it's very interesting. And here's, you got to look at the NFL season is two halves, really. I mean, it's not a half. I mean, it's more 2/3 and a third, but it's 2 completely different seasons. The majority of the bulk of your regular season is played in decent weather. There's a lot of dome teams in the stadium, so a lot of the games you'll play on the road or indoors. A lot of teams play a bulk of their home games indoors. So you're playing in a lot more of controlled climates, not adverse weather. Not until you start to get later into the regular season do you see that even start to come into the mix. Now, when you're getting into playoff football, and especially where the landscape of the teams looking at the AFC right now is shaking out, you're looking at a possible diverse weather, cold, blustery, frozen field turf, wind. It's a different kind of game. It's a different kind of game plan when you're playing for one and done. I don't know if you watch hockey or if you watch NHL hockey. I watch NHL hockey. I'm a hockey fan. There's a phrase, playoff hockey. It's just different. There's just something about it. The aggression's turned up. Everything's turned up. The speed turned up. They hit a little harder. They're just trying a little harder. That's kind of what it is in the playoffs. But then you throw in Mother Nature. You like that jacket, don't you, Brian? You got the Merry Christmas, you filthy animal jacket. We gotta keep it festive up in here. It is Christmas Eve, yo. So you've now got this scenario where you've got Kansas City, the Texans, and the Bills. The only team that doesn't fit the narrative right now is the Texans. They host a game, and then I don't see it happening past the wild card round. They're going to host a game the wild card round, but Kansas City, and then both of your host teams, if you get into the divisional round, are Baltimore and New England. So you're up in the Northeast, chances of very extreme conditions. That's for damn sure. Now, as much as Derek Carr gets a knock for not being able to get it done in cold weather, and there's a knock, he gets that knock for a reason. It's because he hasn't gotten it done in cold weather. So, you're going to get that knock when you don't get it done in cold weather. But with what this team has done and the level of talent that this team has currently at your skill positions on offense, the talent puddle that is your wide receiver core, with what you currently have, your game plan really works out to possibly lining up into what could be a good playoff game plan. You have a quarterback right now who has a level of accuracy on the short passes, the dink and dunk, the West Coast style offense where you're hoping that your wide receiver breaks a play a la Hunter Renfrow last week. You lean heavy on your running game. You try to get some action in the bootleg, like the little run pass, the little RPO that Carr ended up scoring on, and thank God he didn't hang the ball out there and do something stupid with it. But you can get things like that going in an adverse weather game where now things are grinded down, where you just need to be a team that can just stay in first gear and grind through a game. That's what the Raiders do. The Raiders are a first gear only team that grinds through a game. And if you drag it down now, due to weather, there's a possibility, and this team matches up better than a lot of people think they do in the playoffs. Playoff football in the NFL is, you don't get typically nice weather unless you're a southern team and you have home field advantage throughout, or you're an indoor team and you have home field advantage throughout. Majority of the time you're gonna have to fight through some cold weather, and then hopefully get to a neutral site in the Super Bowl. You're gonna get a good You're going to get a good warm-up in the cold this weekend. You got to go to Denver. You got to handle business against a young quarterback who's hungry, who's playing well, hasn't beat any juggernauts, but still has a positive record since being handed the ball. And I see everybody saying, "Oh, Carr can outshoot him. He can win a shootout against him." He should be able to. There should be no question right now if our quarterback can win a shootout against some kid who just got handed the rock for the Donkeys, who are pretty much void of talent for the most part on offense. They aren't a hell of a lot different than us. So you've got the season on the line. You have to go in and handle business in Denver this weekend. This is a no excuse game for me. This is one Derek Carr can hang his hat on going into the 2020 offseason. Because if he goes in and wins this game, regardless of what happens in the playoff scenario, regardless, because you don't control what happens in the Bengals, Browns, the Ravens, Steelers, the Texans, Titans, or the Colts, Jags. You don't control those games. But if you go in and you beat the Donkeys, you finish 8-8, you set yourself up for a chance to win the playoffs. You have your fan base sitting around watching all these scenarios, hoping, everybody's doing their little fucking shit, and they're stabbing voodoo dolls like we do. Everybody's doing all kinds of crazy shit. And you win, and you're sitting there, and you're all hoping to get in together. There's a large percentage of Raider Nation that Derek Carr will be able to do no wrong this offseason. And he will have solidified himself by beating the Chargers and the Donkeys down the stretch, 2 divisional games, to a large percentage of Raider Nation. The month prior that he lost all 4 games in a row and was the quarterback leading the team then means nothing. And that's a distinct possibility. So this is a hang your hat on game as far as I'm concerned for Derek Carr. He goes in and leads this team to victory against the Donkeys. He has an off season now to 100% grasp this offense, get some extra weapons around him, and you now would have bought yourself 1 more year, barring somebody coming in and miraculously taking your job from you, which I don't see that happening. There's a possibility. I think, I really do think there's a quarterback comes in-house this season. I don't think John Gruden's the type of coach who wouldn't bring a quarterback in-house this season. I think he's going to see by this season that Derek Carr needs challenged. Derek Carr's comfortable. He needs challenged. He needs somebody behind him that has the possibility to take his job. There's nobody on the roster right now that has the possibility of taking his job. Who, Deshaun Kaiser is going to take his job? No, he's not going to take his job. He's an interesting possibility if your starter goes down, but he's not taking anybody's job. Deshaun Kaiser, get out of here. No, that's not happening at all. So he's not got anybody behind him that's chomping on his heels to take his job. They're there to be his replacement. That's what every quarterback on the roster right now is that's not Derek Carr. They're here to be Derek Carr's replacement in case of emergency. They are a break glass in case of emergency. Oh, I'm coming here chirping, man, on Christmas Eve. Don't think just because it's Christmas Eve, they're angel. I won't tell you to eat a dick for some comment like that. So, ain't no motherfucker crying. Ain't nobody crying. Did you see any tears? Please go clip a fucking anything out of my video and show me some tears, man. Show me some tears. Shit, the fuck out of here. I don't think you understand the difference of what critiquing is, my man. Critiquing. I'm sorry. It's okay. I guess it's all right, man. I've noticed that a large portion of Raider Nation is okay with mediocrity at quarterback, but it's the best thing we've had since Gannon. That seems to be a strong argument. And the amount of posts that I've seen in the groups like, oh man, that'll shut those car haters up. Whatever a fucking car hater is, I don't even know what that is. That's some new term that has popped up, but it's like the 2019 term. It's kind of like snowflake. It's something that's popped up that douchebags use. It's a douchebag term. So I mean, if you have found yourself typing that phrase anytime in the last week, look in the mirror and you need to really do a deep check inside, because man, you may have slipped into a little bit of douchebag status there, and you need to check yourself. Spoiler alert, there may be a little WTF at the end of the show about car haters. So hang around for that. Man, it's amazing. It just amazes me how a certain percentage of the fan base is, dude, they cannot handle it if it ain't sunshine and fucking rainbows. If you aren't rah-rahing on the way in, rah-rahing the whole fucking game, and rah-rahing on the way out, win, lose, tie, no matter what the score is, whether they fumbled it on the one, whether they threw a pick six in the end zone to blow the game, no matter what it is, you should rah-rah fucking rah. No, come on. You're not allowed to be upset. You should be happy. Fucking, I'm just happy to be a fan. Good Lord, man. I am not a lemming, man. I'm not going to go walk off a fucking cliff because the guy in front of me did. I'm going to stand at the cliff and be like, wait a second. This seems like a bad idea. And that's kind of where I'm at with Derek Carr. I see everybody else blindly supporting him running off the cliff, and I'm just like, I'm standing there looking at the... Wait a second. 6 seasons? What's this motherfucker doing? Am I ready to run off a cliff after this guy? That's about where I'm standing. I'm like, hold on a second. Let's reevaluate, shall we? So that's kind of where I am with him. You throw him to the scrap heap? No. Has anybody ever seen me come on here and say, we need to trade and we need to do this? No. What have you heard me say? We need to bring another quarterback onto this roster that has the possibility to be the starter. If that's via trade, if that's free agency veteran, if that's you go draft the guy who you think could have that possibility or have that greatness gene built in him. Because I'm sorry, man, 6 seasons in, I don't think Derek Carr is a great quarterback. And I'm about 100% certain that he is not a great quarterback. He is a good quarterback. A good quarterback. And if you do the things like you just did against the Chokers in last week's game, you run the ball well, get up around the century mark in yardage, toting the rock. If you can high percentage pass, you can have your guys make some plays, break some tackles like Renfro, make things happen out of quick speed type plays. If you don't turn the ball over, play high control football, grind the clock, keep the other team off the field, keep the score down, lean on your defense a little bit, you can win games in the NFL. Yes, you can. But you don't win a high percentage of games in that, like that. And that's why Derek Carr's a 42% win quarterback. Now, if you put a little bit of greatness around them, there are lots of quarterbacks in this league that weren't the fucking greatest gunslinger, didn't have the best arm, but they had an amazing supporting cast, and they just had to go out there and not screw things up and not get in the way. And Derek Carr could be an amazing quarterback in that type of system. Whether I'm crossroads. That's the best way that I can put it. I'm at a crossroads with him as a fan. As a fan, and him being the face of the franchise, being the leader of the franchise. I'm at a crossroads with him as a fan. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. I can sit here and make the argument all day. I can go stand on the other side of this debate, and I can sit in a bar, and I could knock somebody down all day long throwing fucking stats at him about Derek Carr and how, Derek Carr's this, and he's done this, and he's done this, and he's done this, and this is why he's not this, and this is why he's not this, and this is why he's not this, and I could blame excuse. I could play both sides of this argument, but I gotta step away from it, man. I gotta step away from it, and I gotta look at it objectively. And I've got to look at what the kind of standards that other quarterbacks are held to in this league. And they're not given the type of leash that Derek Carr's been given. He's been rotated, I don't know how many coaching staffs now, offensive coordinators, just trying to find this magical mixture of fucking Miracle Grow and sun and water that now brings the greatness that we've been waiting to see to the surface. Oh, we've been trying to grow this greatness now for almost 6 seasons. Man, I don't know what kind of growth cycle this greatness has, but usually it doesn't take quite that long to show up. I'm just saying. Greatness overcomes in sports. I don't think he has that level of greatness. But does he throw him on the scrap heap? No! This guy ain't Jamarcus Russell. I mean, let's remember where he came from now. I'm not being retarded here. You know. Not at all. But I think you gotta bring a guy on this roster that challenges him and puts a fire under this guy. Because if you come in month into the season next year and you're still stumbling and you are seeing the same type of shit that you've seen before, and it's the same script, you're watching the same movie again, it's the same bad episode of fucking vanilla ass offense, and you don't feel like you're ever going to get that second gear, then you gotta have a guy. Purple drink? Did you say purple drink? You gotta have a guy that can come in and possibly change the game. I agree, Brian. I agree. Greatness does need somebody around them. But you're usually not having this kind of argument as to whether the other guy's great. It's usually a pretty clear argument like, wow, that guy's really great. You need to put some talent around him. Let's go back in time again. 2016. We're all sitting there in the offseason of 2016, and what are we looking at coming into 2017? We're like, oh, well, he needed it. Now we're going to give this young gun offensive coordinator a chance. Him and Derek Carr got this great relationship. He's got 2,000-yard receivers coming back. We're going to add beast mode to the mix. He's got everything he needs now to be successful. Was he successful? No. They have every chance to be successful, but he wasn't successful. So now at the end of that season, we made a million excuses. We shouldn't have tried the new offensive coordinator. The kid was unproven. This, blah, 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 blah. Dump the coaching staff. Now you bring in Gruden. Now he's got an entire fucking year pass. Now he's given a year pass no matter what happened last year. He was going to come out fucking smelling like roses at the end and be the quarterback for this season. And now everybody's still trying to... You're still trying to spin a yarn as to why this guy is the franchise quarterback. There should be no convincing at this point in a career. There should be no more convincing. It should be a slam dunk. That's all I'm saying. So I think this team can be dangerous in the playoffs, and we will have to see when we get there. So let's move in a different direction. What's up, everybody? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever the hell you're celebrating today. Merry and happy that. But it's Christmas Eve. Thank you all for joining me. As always, appreciate each and every one of you joining me here at RAIDER ReACTION. You guys are the shit. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, RAIDER ReACTION Webcast, please go check that out. It is really gaining some traction over there. Check that out. We are getting a lot of comments and a lot of action on our videos over there. We've kind of recently just gotten discovered on YouTube, so it's kind of nice. So if you haven't subscribed to us yet, check it out over there. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and the Twitter as well. And make sure to like and follow us right here to RAIDER ReACTION, because we got all kinds of action coming still the rest of this season. And coming up, right after the first of the year, I'm going to be dropping a big announcement on the page. And those of you watching tonight, you're going to be the first one to hear about it. And I wanted to drop it tonight because I knew anybody watching on Christmas Eve, you deserve a little teaser to hear about what's coming in the next month. So, some of you joined last year and participated in our RAIDER ReACTION off-season Madden Challenge. And we will be booting it up again this year. Last year, we had a few bugs. It was our first one. It's the first one I'd run on that type of a level, and I learned a lot doing it. We took a lot of notes, and now we are back and ready for Season 2. We gave away 2 autographed Derek Carr jerseys with certificate of authenticity last year to our league winners, as well as RAIDER ReACTION prize packs to everybody who made the playoffs. Or excuse me, everybody who won their division. If you won your division, you got a RAIDER ReACTIon prize pack too. But we are doing it again. So this year, I pandered last season, and I was talked into doing an Xbox One league. To me, you've got a game system that's made for children, and you have a game system that's made for adults. I'm not a fucking child. Both of my thumbs on both of my hands are placed in the exact same location. So I'm not going to use a controller that requires my thumbs to not align. That's just retarded. I'm not some fucking alien. One of my thumbs is not placed differently on my hand than the other. So, our league this season will be one league. So we're only going to have 32 openings, and it will be in PS4. That is going to be the only league. There will be no Xbox League this season. So if you want a chance to win, you got to get your PS4. It's going to be the same entry as last season. It's going to be a $25 buy-in. Winner is going to have a chance for another pristine item. And I'm working on the item right now. But I'm really leaning towards getting an autographed Josh Jacobs jersey with certificate of authenticity to be our grand prize winner. Well, I'm sorry, Kellen. I don't know what to tell you. I said PS4. So, but that's really what I'm leaning towards. But I am working some things in the side too, and I'll be nailing that down. But the big announcement will be coming right after the first of the year. RAIDER ReACTIon, Madden, off-season challenge. And this season, I will be assigning teams of franchises as owners come in and plugging them into divisions as they come in. And we're going to be doing a fantasy style automated draft where it will dump out rosters, so everybody will have a equal opportunity to have a solid roster no matter what team he gets stuck playing. So all the news on that coming soon, but make sure you check that out. Now, of course, make sure you check out our morning show. If you haven't checked out our morning show lately, it is on at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, the Raider Reaction Morning Show. Myself, members of the Hype team, join me as well, and we bring you all the hot Raider news, man. Everything that's happened basically over the previous 24 hours from the last morning show. If we haven't talked about it in the evening, and you ain't saw it on the morning show, probably ain't happening, because we pretty much cover everything silver and black without all of the candy-coated bullshit that everybody else wants to give you. I mean, if you want to go watch and get your Raider news from the worldwide leader in bullshit, you go right ahead. They're on. They've got all kinds of talking heads that'll, give you 99% of a bunch of news that you don't give a fuck about, and about 0.5% of the news that you do give a fuck about. Or you can follow our page and watch our shows, and we'll pretty much tell you everything you need to know about the silver and black. What's going on injury-wise, what's going on the horizon, what's going on in camp, practice, and as well as the parties the Raider Nation is holding. That's a whole nother realm of Raider Reaction right there. We like to take you where not everybody gets to go. So, next season, we're about to ratchet this thing up to a whole nother level, man, when we get to Vegas. There's a lot of things getting ratcheted up around here for Vegas next season. So, moving on. I want to touch on an interesting subject. Now, we've seen, the last couple weeks, DeAndre Washington has done all right. D-Wash stepping in for Josh Jacobs. Is he who you want to lean on going into the playoffs? Or do you want to take the chance? You've got a game right here that is a big game. DeAndre Washington has done well coming in for relief in Jacobs. But wouldn't you want to see Josh Jacobs in this game? Or do you shelve him? Do you feel that... See, the thing is we're missing a lot of the information here. We don't know the severity of this injury, and we don't know what the risk factor is of him playing with this. We know it's a shoulder injury. He's looking like a franchise-type running back. You don't want to sit there. You don't get that many chances to be right here and be this close to making the playoffs. You don't typically get that many chances in an NFL career as a head coach, as quarterback, as anything. It just doesn't happen all the time. As much as work as you put in, you fall short more than you don't. At least that's the history lately of this franchise over the past several decades. So you put yourself right there. Don't you take and give yourself every advantage? Don't you? If you have an opportunity and Josh Jacobs could start, don't you let him start? Or at least let him go out there, and if he's feeling it, man, I can tell when Josh Jacobs, man, he's the type of guy within the first few times he touches the ball, you can start to see he's feeling it already. That'd be an interesting stat to go back and see what the average was out of the first 3 times Josh Jacobs touches the ball in a game. Because, man, I tell you what, I remember, like, the first or second time he touches the ball, it's damn near a big run every time. He can make an impact quickly. And if you get a defense gets gashed quick, bump, bump, all of a sudden they're like, holy shit. And you've got them on their heels early. And that early touchdown is something this Raider team could really, really, really utilize. We played big off of it last week. you don't have that early touchdown, and I don't know, what happens to this team last week. You probably don't win that game. This is a team that has to play with a lead. They don't come from behind well. They're not a two-score come from behind type team. They don't have a dynamic offense. They're not built like that. They need to stay with you the whole game and grind with you. That's just the way this team's built. And that's a doable thing. It's a doable thing, so. I myself, if Josh Jacobs can go, I say he's got to go. If he's not 100%, but it's not an injury that is detrimental to him as far as something that's going to hinder him for the longevity of his career, then I say he's got to fucking play. Fucking give him a shot of the fucking happy juice and let's do this. If it is something that could have detrimental effect on him for the remainder of his career, then I don't want to see that kid the rest of this season. If that's the type of injury you're talking about, if you're talking about an injury, a straight up injury that you playing with it is going to further the effects of the injury, then no, I don't want him to play it. Now, if it's an injury that is just a lot of pain associated with it, and with a little pain management, he could play. I could make that gladiator argument for you. And I say he plays. I say if you ask Josh Jacobs and it was up to him, he'd 100% play. And I think without a doubt he would be on the field. DeAndre Washington is a good running back. But kind of like the argument I made for Derek Carr. He's not a great running back. He's a good running back. Not a great running back. A great running back just has that little thing, man. That little thing called the it factor. That at any time he can spin, break a tackle, fucking bounce out of something, stay up when most normal men don't, and then all of a sudden he's doing something special and taking it to the house when a good running back just got a first down. But the great running back turns it into a touchdown or a 30-yard run or a 40-yard run. So there's that difference, man. There's that difference. You don't have that home run power, that home run capability like you got with the Josh Jacobs out on the field. They're not the same. They're not interchangeable. There's a reason one's a starter and one's not. There's a reason you've been talking about whether you're going to keep Rashard or DeAndre Washington for the past 2 seasons. Because they're very similar. I've been positive DeAndre Washington the past 2 seasons. I've been saying you kept him over Rashard. But then Rashard had a decent season last year when D-Wash was banged up. So I think it's nice that you see this depth. Now, there's a name that has popped up in the news, and I've seen some of you talking about him in the comments all the show, but I was waiting to get to him when I was talking about the Josh Jacobs situation. You've got this Josh Jacobs situation, and you've got the running backs that you have in-house, which are basically going to fill his spot, or DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard. Why wouldn't you think about making a phone call to Beast Mode, to Marshawn Lynch? Did the Raiders ever make a call? And were they ever in play for Marshawn Lynch? Or was Marshawn only considering the fucking bitch pigeons because they were already in the playoffs and we technically aren't in yet and need a lot of help still to get in? So I understand it's not quite comparing apples to apples, but were the Raiders in play? Because if they weren't, I feel that we should have been. I feel that phone call should have been made because a guy like him could have been very helpful in the type of game I was talking about earlier, a grinder type game. It's just interesting. I was a little taken aback by the fact he showed up. I did like the way he showed up, though, in style, in opening the door and just absolutely the back seat full of Skittles dumping out on the, he showed up in style. I don't know if I blame him, Brian. He is ring chasing, but I don't know if I blame him. I don't know if I blame him at his point in his career. He owes the Raiders nothing. I have no ill will about seeing Beast Mode go up and play in Seattle. I mean, he's got a lot of history there. He knows the coach. He won a ring there. He had his most historic part of his career there. So I have no ill will for seeing Beast Mode go there. But I think the Raiders should have thought outside the box a couple times this season. I thought they should have done it earlier in the season with wide receiver when you were sitting at 6-4 and you seen that you really, really needed some help at wide receiver badly, and you didn't make a move. You didn't go try and do anything exciting or outside the box. Try to pull somebody back in out of quasi retirement. Grab a free agent that no team's just knocking on their door anymore that's had past success. The fact that you just haven't tried to think outside the box. You see this team has deficiencies, but deficiencies or not, the other teams in the AFC do not want to punch their ticket into the playoffs. So you, even with all the deficiencies you have, continue to still have a chance for the postseason. So why would you not make some sort of play somewhere to try to bolster and fill these weakness gaps? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It seems like an interesting move to me. It really, really does. So interesting. So it's the defense. I thought played well. I think our defense over the month-long losing streak got a really bad rap. Our offense really set them up for failure because of their ineptitude in moving the ball. They just couldn't sustain anything. They couldn't score points, and they completely gassed this defense. And I really like the young core of this defense, and I think if you add healthy pieces that got knocked out already over the course of this season, you bring them back in and you continue to build on this through draft and free agency next year, I think this is a defense turning in the right direction. You've got some young talent. Cleveland Farrell has finally showed up in the stat line the past few weeks, which will now allow some of the uneducated fans to quit calling him a bust, because the kid has not been a bust. He's played great all season long. He's just not been the one getting the sacks in the stat line, but he's been playing great in the run stop. And I think as a whole, when you got rid of Khalil Mack, everybody said the number one thing we needed was the pass rush. We're getting the pass rush. We're getting to the quarterback. We're getting to the quarterback every game. So that's not an issue anymore. We are getting pressure. We're getting pressure where we didn't get pressure before. So I don't know. I guess I don't. Defense is a tough thing in the NFL now, because you're put at such a disadvantage based on the rules. So grading a defense is difficult because you're not going to pitch shutouts anymore. You're not going to pitch constant shutouts at all. So I would like to first, before I get to this one of my final segments here, I would like to thank each and every one of you and wish you all a happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Thank you for spending a little bit of Christmas Eve here with me and talking a little bit of Raider football. I knew we would have a smaller crowd tonight since it is Christmas Eve, but I appreciate those who've hung out and stayed to talk a little silver and black here on a Christmas Eve. I hope you guys are, kicking with your families. You're in a good place and surrounded, you're loved, and you're having a kick-ass holiday. I hope everybody is comes out on the other side of this thing, and we're right here talking Raider football like we were before we went in it. So I would like to wrap up on a little final segment that I like to call...
What?
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 Yeah, a little segment that I like to call the WTF. Today I want to touch on a new term that has popped up over the past couple weeks. It's in the groups. It was in the groups all week. It was in the groups again today. It's a little term called car hater. What exactly is a car hater? I'm not quite sure. As someone who follows and covers the Oakland Raiders and Raider Nation and all surrounding it, I've been studying this term and this thing that people keep discussing called a car hater. So what exactly is a car hater? I'm not sure. Apparently if you question the quarterback in any way, you're a car hater. If you say anything bad about the quarterback, you are a car hater. If really you had any negative comment to say in the general direction of our said quarterback, you are a car hater. I have even had the moniker car hater thrown at me. Why would I be a car hater? Why would I hate our quarterback? I don't hate our quarterback. Wish nothing upon success from our quarterback, which I think most of the members of Raider Nation who have had this stupid moniker thrown towards them or in their general direction of car hater would align with myself. We want to witness success sometime in our lifetime. Certain people just aren't okay with, it's the best thing we've had in a while. There are certain fans that like to hold the franchise in which we support to the actual level of the fucking cute bumper stickers and shit that they have around the stadium and hang in their training facilities. You know, pride, poise, commitment to excellence, not commitment to mediocrity. Nowhere do I see anybody rocking a t-shirt that says commitment to mediocrity, commitment to sub 500 football. No, it says commitment to excellence. And if you've seen excellence at the quarterback position over the past 6 seasons, please point it out to me, because I'm not the only one that can't see it. This stupid ass term that keeps getting thrown around is just asinine. And every time I see somebody use it, it's almost like it's the Raider Nation version of snowflake. When I see somebody throw it around, I just want to look at them and say, what the fuck? Hater? Who's a hater? It's such a stupid term. You sound like a fucking prepubescent little fucking little bitch when you use terms like that. And the other one, fake fan. Fake fan. Come on. What, because we ain't got the same opinion? Somebody's a fake fan. I wouldn't call you a fake fan. Why would I call you a fake fan? Because you're passionate about your stance about your team? No. I would want to sit and have a beer with you and talk about our differing stance on the team that we love. I wouldn't call you a fake fan, but there's a certain percentage of people that do. But, you know, there's a certain percentage of any group of people that's going to have a group of dumbasses in it regardless. Even Raider Nation. But that's alright. You silver and black dumbasses, you stupid motherfuckers can have a Merry Christmas too. Even the ones that don't get it. It's alright. We even love our dumb brothers. It's okay. We'll embrace you, and we won't let anybody else call you stupid except for us. That's how family rolls.
He shoots, he scores!
Seriously, everybody have a happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me on a little Christmas Eve edition of whatever the hell it is we do here at Raider Action. We do have a very special morning show for you tomorrow. A Christmas morning Raider Action morning show. The Height team has a bunch of special holiday messages and greetings for Raider Nation and the followers of the Raider Action page, the members of our Raider Action Empire, the Dark Side group. And if you haven't joined the Dark Side group, it's real, raw, and censored. You need to bring your ass over there. And that's where you can talk and spill, get things off of your chest like I do me, right here. But thank you all for joining us, man. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, the Twitter. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Raider Reaction Webcasts. Make sure to follow, like the Raider Reaction page, as well as my new page, the Commish, as well. Check that out as well. And make sure to check us out tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever the hell it is you celebrate, whatever makes your little heart flutter at this time of the season, whatever that is, merry and happy that. Because I judge nobody for whatever the fuck you believe. You can wear one of them colanders on your head, be a Pastafarian. I don't give a shit. Then fucking go make you some spaghetti and celebrate the fuck out of that. But to all of you, man, just be safe and enjoy hanging out with your families. Be good, be in a good place, and I'll see you on the other side. Until then, I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation. Oh, and of course, fuck the Broncos.